Typically, when a player goes and has Olympic experience, they come back evolved. They come back a little more poised. They've taken a leap in their game. And you see nothing short of that with Anthony Edwards. Man, listen, if you're new to this channel, this is P.kidd. This is P.kidd Talks NBA. But it ain't about me. It's about big dog Anthony Edwards. Because at this particular point, the man is sitting there glowing. What I mean by that, the glow up is real. The dominant win over the Celtics didn't just highlight a good score, but it highlighted a couple of things that I think go very unnoticed and underrated when it comes to Anthony Edwards. And that really goes into not just his defensive prowess, but his playmaking ability and also willingness to understand and read what's happening on the basketball court a lot better than some would say his counterpart, Karl Anthony Towns, who at times can't even be on the floor at the end of games. This goes to highlight a couple of things. One, Minnesota now has their star. If there was any question before as to whose team it was, there isn't any question now. Now, while it may be early in this season to say that, I don't think it's early to sit there and say, you roll with this kid. He brings it. He has it. And to do so against one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the Celtics, they highlight a couple things. One, if you look at the plays, some of the ISOs he's had, some of the ways that he was able to break down his defenders, some of the ways he was able to, even in moments with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, he just looked poised. Situations where he's driving on Kristaps, you think, okay, this may be a turnover or a block. He's getting off the glass, a bank shot. He's making the right pass to open McDaniels, who hits big shots. He's really not only just making plays for himself, he's making plays for other people. And the attitude, the grit, the entire attitude is really infectious in having such an imprint on the team. You can't help but notice that everyone seems to be playing better when he's not only being aggressive, but just being him, and they relish in that. Minnesota has a pure gem, and it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to sit here and say that Minnesota has an opportunity to now do what they thought would happen with Andrew Wiggins and things of that nature. They have the opportunity to really have that star and build again. They haven't had this type of star, in my opinion, since Kevin Garnett. And I'm happy to hear, I'm happy to see it. I think small market teams like the Timberwolves deserve players like this. Now, I hope they do the right thing by continuing to build around them. Now, that goes into the second half of this one. Karl Anthony Towns is the star that we often looked at, and he's done it to himself. He talks a big game. He does a lot. But sometimes the decision making just isn't there. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but the one thing I do notice is that oftentimes he can't be trusted to close out a game or even be on the floor when those situations occur. And this isn't just a thing that's happened this season in this last game, excuse me. It happened even in last season. It happened even in the playoffs where it was like, hey, it's roll of the dice, so to speak. It's to know what version of Karl Anthony Towns you're going to get. It is one of those things where if you're the coach and you can kind of see how he's coached it, you wonder if it's even worth having him out there. Now, you know he can hit shots. He has good court vision. I have to give it. He made plays in yesterday's game. But then there was moments where it was like, what you doing, my boy? Why? That's not what we need right now. And then ultimately, again, some of the biggest moments, and then Ant just being Ant. He just wasn't on the floor because you just couldn't take the risk, couldn't take the liability, things of that nature. And it's sad to say because I am someone, although I am from Chicago, I am a Chicago Bulls fan, yada, yada, yada. You get that point, right? I actually had high hopes for Karl Anthony Towns. And this is not to say that his career is over or anything like that. But the Karl Anthony Towns I envisioned and how they could build that out, Karl Anthony Towns, Ant-Man, Rudy Gobert, I thought that would be a perfect tandem. And when everyone was laughing about how much they spent together, I thought I was like, no, they cleared out space to get what they needed. This might actually work out. So the moves that were made, while some people thought were questionable, I thought was solid. I just didn't expect Karl Anthony Towns not to be able to mature the way I thought he should. And it goes to show you the clear difference. You can kind of almost see it. You can kind of see the clear difference between a player who absolutely works on his game and truly enjoys building in developing his craft versus one who's kind of stuck in his own way. And that's not to say that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't work on his game. I really don't. I can't make that statement. I'm not going to say that. I'm never going to sit there and just throw something out there. But I can tell you it ain't the same level of work that Anthony Edwards made. I can tell you the commitment is not the same. And I can definitely tell you, and I can be certain, and I stand on this 10 toes down, it ain't the same mentality. So Minnesota has a great problem. They have a superstar problem because that's exactly what they got on their hands. They have a dog who could be a superstar. They also got another problem. They have someone else who they've kind of committed to. They got to make some hard decisions with. But the more Anthony Edwards takes off, the easier that decision is going to make. If you are a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, let me know your thoughts, man. If you're an Anthony Edwards fan, let me know how you all feel about the last game, how you feel about how he's able to evolve, how he's able to actually, just how he looks on the court, period. Just give me your thoughts, man, whether it's love, whether it's hate. Put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you all. Till next time. Peace.